Hay told us Roman gladiators were heroes. But what if the bravest fighters in the Colosseum were little girls, 8-year-olds, forced to kill each other for the entertainment of an emperor who called them goddesses? This is the story Rome tried to erase.
Roman gladiators were brave, powerful male warriors. But what if I told you that during the Colosseum's darkest period, children were forced to fight in the arena? And most of these children were 8 to 10-year-old girls. A dungeon found beneath the Colosseum revealed this incredible truth. Between 180 to 192 AD, Emperor Commodus launched a program called Goddess Gladiators to gladiators and made to fight each other. And the most shocking part, the Roman people watched this as entertainment. 2019, Italian archaeologist Dr. Alessandro Fontana and his team encountered an unexpected discovery during structural reinforcement work at the Colosseum. 12 meters below the arena, they found a chain of rooms that appeared on no Roman-era maps. Hundreds of names carved in Latin letters covered the walls. Lucia, Claudia, Julia, Sabina, all girls' names. And next to these names were written ages: 8, 9, 10, 12. In his initial report, Dr. Fontana wrote, "The writings on the room walls were not in an adult's handwriting. These were messages hastily carved by children's hands, perhaps in darkness. Next to some, the word mother was written repeatedly. But the truly shocking discovery was made in the second room. There they found 47 children's skeletons. All were between 7 and 12 years old. All were girls, and all had deep sword and spear marks on their bones." Before diving into these shocking Roman truths and Emperor Commodus's dark obsession, if you enjoy learning about history's hidden faces, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, because truths like these don't emerge every day. How did they end up in the Colosseum's dungeons? And most importantly, why did Rome's most powerful emperor decide to make little girls into gladiators? Marcus Aurelius died in 180 AD. His son Commodus ascended to the throne. He was only 19 years old, but he would become one of the most dangerous emperors in Roman history. Unlike his father, Commodus wasn't interested in state affairs. His only passion was gladiator fights. But he didn't just watch. He himself descended into the arena and fought. Of course, his opponents were people who had been weakened beforehand or left weaponless. In the records of Roman historian Cassius Dio, this period of Commodus is described as follows. The emperor saw himself as the reincarnation of Hercules. He wore lion skins in the palace and constantly walked around in gladiator outfits. He even canceled Senate meetings to spend his days in the arena. Commodus's madness reached a completely new dimension in 188 AD. That year, he claimed to have had a dream. In his dream, the goddess Diana had told him, "Your gladiators consist only of men. I am a warrior goddess. In my honor, you must train young girl warriors." This dream was the excuse Commodus needed to realize the dark fantasies in his mind. He immediately sent an order to the Senate. Beautiful and healthy girls will be collected from throughout the empire. They will be trained as gladiators in honor of the goddess Diana. The Senate tried to oppose this order, but Commodus wouldn't listen. "And the messenger of the gods opposes me, insults Diana," he said, and thus began the darkest program in Roman history. In the autumn of 188 AD, special orders were sent throughout the Roman Empire. The emperor's Praetorian guards began touring villages and towns. The desired characteristics were very specific. Girls aged 7 to 12, healthy with beautiful faces. Among the documents found in the 2019 discovery was the diary of a guard officer. Officer Titus Flavius wrote in his diary, "It is my duty to carry out these orders, but my conscience is not at ease. Today, in a village, we separated an 8-year-old girl from her family. Her mother was begging. Her father tried to stop us, but we arrested him. The little girl asked through tears, "Do anything bad? Why are you taking me?" 200 girls were torn from their families. Most came from Rome's poor villages, some from enslaved families. The selection criteria weren't just physical characteristics. Commodus also wanted children who appeared resilient, because the training process would be very brutal. The girls were brought to Rome in chains. The excuse given to their families was they will work as servants in the emperor's palace and earn money for their families. Colosseum. This was completely separate from the normal gladiator cells, because Commodus wanted this program kept secret. Children were locked in cold, damp cells. Most were crying. They wanted their mothers, but no one listened to them. And the next morning, their training would begin. One inscription found on the walls said, "My name is Lucia. I came here yesterday. My mother was making bread. I was helping her. Now I'm here and they're saying terrible things. They say they'll make us fight, but I don't want to fight. I just want to go home." This was Lucia's first message, but unfortunately it wouldn't be her last. Gladiator's program consisted of 3 phases: physical endurance, weapons training, and psychological conditioning. Each phase was more brutal than the last. The first phase was physical endurance. The girls were woken up every morning at dawn and made to run for hours. Trainer gladiators made them carry heavy stones, do rope climbing, and constantly imposed physical exercises. In a trainer's report found in the 2019 Discovery, it said, "The children are very weak. They can't lift the weights, but the emperor's order is clear. They will be beaten until they become strong." This morning, 9-year-old Julia fainted. We woke her with cold water and continued the training. Children were given wooden swords and told to fight each other. At first, no one attacked, because they were all afraid. But the trainers said, "Those who don't attack won't get food." They began hitting each other. One of Lucia's wall writings, "Today I had to hit Claudia. She's my friend. At night we cry together, but the trainer beats us. He says, 'Goddesses don't cry.' I don't want to be a goddess. I just want to be Lucia." Truly see themselves as warrior goddesses. He had developed a special system for this. Each child was given a goddess name. Lucia became Diana Minora, Little Diana. Claudia became Minerva Secunda, Second Minerva. Using their real names was forbidden. The trainers constantly repeated to them, "You are no longer ordinary girls. You are warriors chosen by the gods. Fighting in the arena is your honor. Winners will live in the emperor's palace. Losers will face the god's wrath." But the god's wrath was actually something far more terrible, because the first real fight was approaching. 189 AD, after 6 months of training, Commodus decided to organize the first show. But this show wouldn't be public. Only specially selected senators and wealthy Romans would be invited. And Commodus announced, "The goddess's first battle begins." On a morning in May 1890 AD, the area beneath the Colosseum was specially prepared. Normal public entry was prohibited. Only an elite audience group of 500 people was invited. Commodus was watching the arena from his special box. His closest advisors were beside him, and everyone was waiting curiously. Gladiator's program actually worked, and the other girls were waiting in the dungeon cells. The trainers had given them real swords and spears. These weren't wooden weapons anymore. They were sharp, heavy, lethal weapons. From Lucia's wall writings, "Today they gave us real swords. Very heavy. My hands are shaking." The trainer said, "Today you will become goddesses or die." Anyone else either. Diana Minora and Claudia Minerva Secunda would face each other. 2 friends, 2 little girls who had been crying together and comforting each other for 6 months. When the arena doors opened, the sunlight burned Lucia's eyes. She had lived in dark dungeon cells for 6 months. Now suddenly she was before 500 people. The spectators were shocked, because in the arena they saw 2 little girls. One was 8, the other 9 years old. They wore miniature gladiator outfits, but their bodies were so small that the armor kept slipping. Commodus stood up and shouted, "Citizens, today you will witness a special show in honor of the goddess Diana. Before you are young warriors chosen by the gods. Now you will see their courage." Claudia dropped her sword and said, "I can't." Commodus became angry. He shouted to the guards, "Beat them! Beat them until they fight," entered the arena and began beating the girls with whips. The pain was unbearable. Lucia raised her sword in desperation and swung it toward Claudia. The sword struck Claudia's arm. Blood flowed. Claudia screamed in pain, and in that moment something changed. The survival instinct kicked in. Claudia also raised her own sword. The next 10 minutes were horrific. 2 little girls attacked each other, crying desperately, clumsily, slowly, but mercilessly, because the alternative was worse than death. Constant beating, starvation, torture. Finally, Lucia knocked Claudia to the ground with a lucky move. She pressed her sword to her friend's throat and waited. Commodus pointed his thumb down. Rome's ancient tradition, the death signal. Trainer shouted into the arena, "Do it, or you'll die!" Terrible moment came. Lucia closed her eyes and pressed the sword. Claudia's last words were, "Lucia." Mother-year-old Lucia had killed someone for the first time in her life, and that person was her closest friend. Half the spectators applauded in horror. The other half watched in uncomfortable silence. But Commodus jumped up enthusiastically. "There's our goddess. There's the true warrior." This show was only the beginning, because Commodus now wanted more. The first show hadn't received the reaction Commodus expected. Many senators and wealthy Romans described this show as disgusting and disrespectful to the gods. But the emperor didn't listen. Between 189 to 192 AD, more than 600 girls were taken into the goddess Gladiator's program. The dungeon complex beneath the Colosseum was expanded. Now it was divided into 3 floors. First floor, training cells for newcomers. Second floor, special rooms for experienced gladiators. Third floor, the darkest floor that no one knew about. The existence of the third floor was unknown until the 2019 discovery, because that was Commodus's private entertainment area. According to documents found in 2019, Commodus didn't just settle for arena shows. At his private banquets, he offered special shows to senators and friends. In these shows, girl gladiators were dressed in special costumes and made to fight one-on-one death matches. One guest's letter, "Last night I was at the emperor's banquet. After dinner, he took us to a special room. There, 2 young girls fought each other. I was very disturbed, but no one could speak up. Opposing the emperor is considered treason. But the most disturbing part was the personal obsession Commodus developed toward these girls. He began seeing himself as the goddess father. He would summon winning girls to his palace, give them special gifts, and address them as my favorite goddesses." Lucia had become Commodus's favorite. After winning her first fight, she had fought 12 more matches and won them all. But each victory destroyed her soul more. From Lucia's wall writings, "Today I fought my 14th match. I don't know anymore how many people I've killed. I see them all in my dreams. Claudia always comes. She asks, 'Why did you kill me?' I don't know, I just wanted to survive." By 190 AD, the program had expanded so much that regular goddess days were now held at the Colosseum. Gladiator shows were held on the 15th of each month. Beginning to get used to it, terrible normalization was occurring in Roman psychology. What was initially called disgusting was now accepted as entertainment, because since the emperor approved it, society embraced it too. Remained silent about this situation. And that person was, ironically, Lucia herself. Lucia was now 11 years old. She had been living in the dungeons for 3 years, and she had now overcome fear. It had been replaced by rage. In the winter of 191 AD, Lucia secretly began organizing meetings with the other girl gladiators. They were no longer just victims, they had become warriors, and they decided to use this power against their fate. The plan was simple, but brave. At the next big show, all the girl gladiators would rebel together and attack Commodus. They would either win their freedom or all die together. From wall carvings. Today, I spoke with 23 girls. They're all with me. Together, maybe we'll win, maybe we'll die. But at least it will be our choice. The beginning of 192 AD, Commodus organized a massive festival for Rome's 945th founding anniversary. This festival would last 7 days, and special shows would be held at the Colosseum. The last day, the Goddess Wars finale was planned. In this finale, 50 girl gladiators would be in the arena at once, and they would all fight each other. The last girl standing would win her freedom. This show as the most magnificent show ever. People were invited. 50,000 people would fill the Colosseum. But Commodus was unaware of Lucia's plan, because for the last 3 months, Lucia had acted like a perfect gladiator. She had carried out all orders. Commodus trusted her so much that he had even given her a special reward, a gold-plated sword. "This sword befits my greatest goddess," Commodus had said. When Lucia received that sword, she had smiled. But behind her smile was another plan. When the festival began, Rome experienced its most intense 7 days in history. Every day, different shows, gladiator fights, and wild animal hunts were organized. The public had gone wild. And finally, the 7th day came, Goddess Wars finale day. That morning, 50 girl gladiators prepared for the arena. Their ages ranged from 9 to 13. All were children who had been torn from their families, forcibly trained and traumatized over the last 3 years. But they were no longer victims. Now, they had a plan together. Told them one last time, "Today we may die, but we'll die by our own choice. We're no longer their puppets. We are Lucia, Julia, Sabina. We must die with our own names." 50,000 people filled the Colosseum. Commodus watched proudly from his box. This was his favorite show. The arena doors opened. 50 girl gladiators emerged into the sunlight. The crowd applauded. Commodus stood up and shouted, "My goddesses! Today whoever wins the greatest battle will deserve true freedom. Begin the fight." The referee gave the signal, but no girl attacked another. Instead, they all turned at the same time and looked at the emperor's box. Then they began walking together toward the box. The girl gladiators stood in the center of the arena, and none were attacking each other. Commodus was stunned. "What are you doing?" "You were ordered to fight," he shouted. Lucia stepped forward. In her hand was the gold sword Commodus had gifted her, and she shouted loudly, "We are no longer your goddesses. We are children. You tore us from our families. You made us fight. You forced us to kill each other. But today we say no." The crowd watched in astonishment. They had never seen anything like this. Slaves, gladiators always obeyed. But this little girl was defying the emperor. Commodus went mad with rage. "You're committing treason! Guards, kill them! Kill them all!" More than 100 Praetorian guards entered the arena. They were heavily armed professional soldiers. Facing them were 50 little girls. Lucia turned to the girl. "Everyone saw, everyone knows, everyone saw what you did, Commodus." These words drove Commodus even crazier. He descended from his box into the arena. With sword in hand, he walked toward Lucia. 50,000 people held their breath. Commodus understood. This show had destroyed him. He lowered his sword, and the remaining 4 girls were taken to the dungeon. While awaiting death sentence one night, suddenly, the cell doors opened. A guard entered. "Be quick, I'm helping you escape." This guard was Titus Flavius, the same man who had taken Lucia from her village 3 years ago. But now he was consumed with guilt. Colosseum and all the way outside Rome. Because what I saw in that arena made me less than human. Lucia settled in a small village in the south and lived her life there. Commodus was assassinated a year later in 192 AD. The identity of the killer is not certain, but many historians believe senators and guards were involved in the plot. The child gladiator scandal had hastened his end. Dr. Alessandro Fontana and his team in 2019 revealed to the modern world one of the Roman Empire's darkest secrets: 47 children's skeletons, hundreds of wall carvings, and discovered documents proved the reality of Commodus's Goddess Gladiators program, but also an ethical discovery. It shows us that even history's most powerful civilizations can commit terrible crimes, and hiding these truths is not always possible. Sooner or later, walls speak. Lucia's wall carvings are particularly poignant. These texts, translated into Italian and English, have been exhibited worldwide. The most famous carving reads, "My name is Lucia. I was once a girl who made bread with her mother. Then they made me a goddess. But I didn't want to be a goddess. I just wanted to be Lucia. If anyone is reading this, please know, we died here, but we were not forgotten." Modern analyses show that female gladiators really did exist in the Roman era, but the existence of child gladiators was always controversial. Commodus's dungeon ended that debate. Even today, similar abuses occur around the world. Child soldiers, child laborers, children forced into marriage. Lucia's story didn't just remain in the past. It carries important messages for today. In 2021, the Italian government converted the dungeon complex beneath the Colosseum into a Crimes Against Humanity museum. Every year, hundreds of thousands of people visit there and see the walls Lucia wrote on. At the museum entrance, Lucia's most famous quote is written, "We weren't goddesses. We were just children who wanted to go home." Rome's darkest period has passed into history, but the voices of the victims were never silenced, because history always proves that justice eventually finds its place.